Stephane, you have the floor.
Alessandra, thank you. Alessandra, thank you, and thank you all for having me. It's nice to be back here. I wanted to give you just a quick recap of the talks, the organization, then I can take a few questions, but obviously will not go much into the substance as they have not yet begun. As it was announced in February, the Secretary-General is convening here in Geneva an informal 5+1 meeting on the Cyprus issue. The Secretary-General decided to call this informal meeting following the consultations that took place over the past several months, done on his behalf by Undersecretary-General Jane Holl Lute. And as we have repeatedly said, the purpose of this informal meeting will be to determine whether common ground exists for the parties to negotiate a lasting solution to the Cyprus issue within a foreseeable horizon. I also wanted to give you an update on who will be heading the delegations, because we've been getting some questions about that. The heads of delegations will be as follows. His Excellency, Mr. Nikos Anastasiadis, the Greek Cypriot leader. His Excellency Ersin Tatar, the Turkish Cypriot leader. His Excellency Mevlut Çavuşoğlu, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Turkey. His Excellency Nikos Dendia, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Greece. And the Right Honorable Dominic Raab, the Foreign Secretary of the United Kingdom. And of course, UN Secretary-General António Guterres will lead the UN delegation. The meetings will get underway this afternoon when the Secretary-General will hold separate bilateral meetings with the leaders of the two communities. He will then host an informal reception later in the evening for all the heads of delegations who are participating in the meeting. On Wednesday morning, the Secretary-General will host here at the Palais a plenary meeting with the 5 parties. He is then expected to hold bilateral meetings with each of those delegations, of the 5 delegations, in the afternoon. And later in the evening, he will hold an informal meeting, an informal dinner, that's on Wednesday evening, for the heads of delegations. We do expect more meetings, different formats on Thursday, but we will share those details with you later.
Thank you very much, Stephane. And I'm now turning to the room and to the platform to see if there is any question for you. In the room, Jamie?
Good morning, Mr. Dujarric. Jamie Keaton, Associated Press. When can we expect a press availability, some sort of press statement or some sort of final conclusion to these talks? Thank you.
We will have, at the end of the talks, the Secretary-General will move forward on the outcomes of the informal talks. How that will be presented to the press, we're still working on that, but we should have more details for you in the coming day or so. And we'll keep you informed, either myself directly or most likely via Alessandra and her office.
Thank you, Stephane. Stella, Michael?
Hello.
You have to mute yourself. Yes, thank you very much, Madam. You're on.
Thank you very much. I'm a journalist at Cyprus Broadcasting Corporation. I would like to ask if we don't have this common ground after these 3 days of meetings, what is the next step for United Nations? Thank you very much.
Thank you for the question, Stella. As you can imagine, I'm not going to prejudge the outcome of meetings that have not started. As I said, the Secretary-General will move forward on the outcomes of these informal talks. But let's wait to see what the outcome is before we decide on it. We discuss anything else.
Thank you, Stephane. Jan Eberman. Jan, can you introduce yourself for Stephane?
I know Jan.
Okay. Okay, he knows you. Go ahead.
Yes, good morning, Stephane. Good to have you.
Hi, Jan.
Yeah. I would like to ask you on the British Foreign Secretary, Mr. Raab. What is his role in these talks? As far as I remember, the last talks held in Geneva, there was no British rep, or am I wrong? Many thanks.
I don't know if you're wrong. What I can tell you is this is the 5+1 format, which has been agreed to, which is basically the leaders of the two communities plus Greece Greece, Turkey, and the United Kingdom, and that format is really based on historical precedent, but there is a format that's been used quite often.
And if I remember well, in Crans-Montana, we had the 3 guarantors, including the UK, but we can check. Maria Koniotou, Cyprus News Agency.
Yes, hello. My question is the Secretary-General willing to take any initiative?
You know, again, Maria, it's a very understandable and good question on your part. At the risk of repeating myself, the Secretary-General will move forward based on the outcomes of these of the informal talks. As we've said, and I think I said back in February and other times in briefings in New York, the parties are welcome to be creative, and the Secretary-General will be encouraging them to move, to use diplomatic language in a sincere and frank manner. Again, it's important to stress that these are informal talks.
Thank you, Stephane. I'll take a couple of more questions. Laurent Sierra, Swiss News Agency.
Yeah, thanks, Stephane. Just to be clear on this, so we shouldn't expect any curtain raisers takeout, neither from the SG nor from the 2 presidents, right?
I mean, I only speak for the Secretary-General. There will be nothing from the Secretary-General until this informal meeting concludes. I have no knowledge of any. I mean, there's nothing planned at the Palais. You should check with the various delegations to see what they're doing, but we don't expect any of these things. But again, I can only speak for one person.
A last question from Nicolas Zanettos. Can you introduce yourself, sir? You have to, we unmute you, sir, but you have also to unmute yourself on your side, please.
Okay, I think you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Yes, Nicolas, hi, nice to hear from you.
Hi. I was going to ask you whether the Secretary-General is ready to hear anything regarding the essence of the Cyprus problem, rather than discussing whether we have common ground. If we have that common ground, is he willing to discuss the essence of the Cyprus problem as well?
Look, I don't want to, let me put it this way, I don't want to proceed or prejudge what will happen in the discussions. I think for us, and again, I'll repeat myself, the aim is to, the reasons he's inviting them is to see if there is a common vision for the future, right? The parties will say whatever they want to say during the discussions. Let's allow the meetings to get underway.
Okay, then we can take 2 more. John, and then they follow up from Jamie. John Zarokostas.
Yes, good morning, Stephane. Nice to see you.
Hi, John. Nice to see you.
I was wondering if the issue of territory, and in particular the 2 sovereign base areas of the UK, Akrotiri and Dhekelia, if they're on the table as a possibility to move the issue forward on the territorial issue.
Good question, John. I'm just not going to get into. I'm not going to get into the weeds ahead of these informal meetings.
Thank you, Stephane. And Jamie, you had a follow-up, and then we'll let Stephane go.
Mr. Dujarric, the word that keeps being repeated is informal, and yet whenever the Secretary-General goes somewhere, almost by its very nature, it's not formal because he's the Secretary-General. But could you just give us the state of mind of the Secretary-General going into these talks? Is he optimistic? Is he cautious? Is he pessimistic? What's his frame of mind? Thank you.
Secretary-General is realistic. this is an issue that he knows well. He has participated in discussions before, so he is realistic.
And with these words of wisdom, thank you very much, Stephane, for
Alessandra,
being with us.
Thank you for having me. And thanks to all of you, and nice to see you masked and on camera.
And thank you very much, and we hope to see more of you in these days.